Hello everyone and welcome to the online lecture series by Shet Vidyamandir English High School and Junior College of Science and Commerce. Myself Jayesh Rajgur and today we are going to study 12th standard Commerce Information Technology. Yes, my dear students, in the previous video lecture we studied about the new syllabus and the new look and feel of the latest launched book of 12th Commerce IT. My dear students, as we know, the first chapter, that is advanced web designing, is of utmost importance, the most important chapter of this year's syllabus, weightage wise also, and both theory as well as practical oriented. My dear students, in this chapter, we are going to study about how to design the layout of a web pages using CSS. Similarly, we can also learn to design the website. Students, you can also design a web form with validations. Also, you can learn concept of image map and iframe. The aim is to give the skills to create HTML web pages using HTML5 and CSS. Basically, my dear students, in 11th standard we have studied different controls and different basic features of HTML. In this year's syllabus we have been given more introspection of HTML5, which is currently used because it supports mobile technology. Major browsers are Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, Microsoft Edge, Safari, Opera, and Apple supports the features of HTML5. So this year you're going to study a more of a relevant thing, that is HTML5. In the previous video lecture we studied about forms, or we can say web forms in HTML. My dear students, we also created a basic web form. In today's video, our aim is to understand much more newer input controls from which we can take data from the user and create a much more interactive and new look form using newer input elements. Yes, my dear students, in 11th standard we have studied different controls related to form like text, radio, checkbox, submit, reset, select, and text area. These controls are used to collect different kinds of user inputs such as contact details like name, address, single or multiple options using radio buttons, or we can say check boxes, or multiple options from group of options using the drop down list, as well as clearing and submitting data. My dear students, forms have always been an important and integral part on the web to collect data from the user. Here, HTML5 has introduced additional form controls which can also be used for validation purpose. So, today we are going to focus much more on HTML5's advanced input elements. Yes, my dear students, here are some important, or we can say very relevant and most frequently used nowadays, HTML5 advanced input elements. Here are some important input types, namely input type is equal to color. Yes, my dear students, the syntax is input type is equal to color in inverted commas. Remember, this defines a color picker, what color you want, and thus input type is equal to color will define a color picker. Similarly, a new type is input type is equal to number, which defines a field for entering a number. My dear students, you must have heard or you must have practiced with input type is equal to text, which helps the user to write text in a given text box or a field. Here, with the help of input type is equal to number, we can take specifically number from the user, and the field which we create through this syntax will help the user to enter a number. Similarly, input type is equal to URL. This field defines entering a URL. It means www.google.com or any other extension or any other particular hyperlink which the user can input. Then we have input type is equal to image. My dear students, this is a very important feature and a very good one which will help you in creating a good look and feel for your submit button. Yes, my dear students, normally in the previous standard also, when we create a basic web form, we have a submit button at the end. This button helps to take the data from the user and submit it to the servers. What if this button looks a bit more cooler, or a much more good or better look and feel if it has? This syntax, that is input type is equal to image, will help the user provide a good image as a submit button, a good graphically looking image for your submit button. My dear students, then we have input type is equal to date. Here, as the name suggests, defines a date picker with the year, month and day. So to select particular date, we can give the user with this field, that is input type is equal to date. Moving on, we have input type is equal to email as well, which defines a field for an email address. Once again, as the name suggests, if we want the user to type a specific email address, we can give a field input type is equal to email. Moving on to the next few types. Input type is equal to month. Here it defines a month and a year control in format, that is YYYYMM, that is year and month. Then we have input type is equal to range to control the range, that is usually 0 to 100, not below that or not exceeding that. We can give a range control using input type is equal to range. Moving further, input type is equal to date time local. Here it defines a date picker that includes the year, month, day and time. My dear students, we also have one more input type, which is input type is equal to time. Here it controls for entering a time. Similarly, we have input type is equal to week, defines a week and year control. One of the most used one nowadays on different kind of websites is input type is equal to search. Now you might have come across many websites which provide us insight, or we can say a specific Google search. This is done through input type is equal to search. This defines a text field for entering a search string like a site search or a Google search. Every website nowadays have the search bar. Moving on to input type is equal to file, you have come across many buttons or many placeholders which help you or provide you an option so that you can upload your pictures or upload your files on the server of the website, like you post pictures on Facebook or your Instagram. Similarly, input type is equal to file defines a file select field and a browse button for file upload, so that the user can upload his or her respective files through a button called as the browse button. Moving on to input type is equal to tell. Now once again, more specific one. The newer input types are more specific than the previous ones. Input type is equal to tell here is used to define input fields that should contain only and only telephone numbers. So very clearly these new input types are making forms or web forms much more interesting and easier to create. Moving on to some input restrictions. My dear students, a list of some common input restrictions are given below, a few of which can be used for validation purpose, such as disabled, max and min. These are most frequently used ones. Specifies that an input field should be disabled. We want something to be disabled, a particular input field, we don't want the user to fill in data, we can disable it permanently using the attribute disable. Similarly, max, this specifies the maximum value for an input field. Similarly, minimum specifies the minimum value for input field. Just as we saw in input type is equal to range, where we can control the range between 0 to 100. Similarly, here we can also validate as max and min using these attributes for a particular input field. We also have pattern attribute, which specifies a regular expression to check the input values. Read only means the user cannot make any change to it. Here only reading is allowed, specifies that an input field is read only. The user cannot make any change or it cannot be changed. Similarly, we have some placeholders like we have in PowerPoint. This acts as a temporary label showing the purpose of a text field without requiring a label tag. One more important one here is required, that is specifies that an important input field is required, must be filled out. You might have come across many fields which have a star mark or an asterisk mark on them. It means that you need to fill them. Without filling them, the form is not complete. So required fields is also one of the attributes in the newer web form. These are some important input restrictions you need to follow. Coming on to autocomplete, once again a very important one, specifies whether a form or input field should have autocomplete on or off. Moving on to the next one, autofocus. Yes, my dear students, specifies that the input field should automatically get focus when the page loads. It works basically on the refresh element. As the page loads, it brings your focus to that particular input field. Then we have height and width, a very commonly used one, specifies the height and width of an input type image. Usually using the input type is equal to image, you can always add a submit image or a submit button image, but sometimes if the size is much more bigger, then the submit button might look very large than the form itself, and so you need to specify the height and width, and this brings the button to a normal size and looks better. Similarly, you also have a multiple attribute, specifies that the user is allowed to enter more than one value, a very simple one. Sometimes we need the user to add some more values, some more data into it, and that time we can put in multiple attribute with the input element. This works with input types like email and file. To upload multiple files, he can select multiple files if we put this attribute. So these are some important restrictions, or we can say some important input restrictions which are used nowadays in the modern web forms. My dear students, we also have some important useful attributes with input, namely ID and class. ID, a most popular one. This is used to identify the HTML element uniquely through the document object model. Also, we have the class attribute. It is used to apply CSS style to the individual input element. When we want to apply a cascading style sheet to a particular input element individually, we can use this class attribute. My dear students, here we have an example of a basic web form which is using the new input elements which we have studied just now in HTML5. We'll be doing this practically in our next video lecture. My dear students, we are going to use all the new input elements and which has all the basic attributes also. So stay tuned. In the next video lecture, we will cover this new input element form and try to gain this output over here. Hopefully you have understood the theory part of the newer input elements available in HTML5. In the next video lecture, we'll cover this practical part of how exactly to write the coding and execute it efficiently. Till then, stay connected, stay safe. Thank you very much.